So that's the fun thing. There's a lot of people in that deposit book that still live in town, but now from us on the city end, that deposit was never added to their account. So I mean, it's if we could find the floppy disks, I'm pretty sure those numbers in there reference floppy disks.
They were doing it at their house. I mean, there was no city office back then.
Yeah, like I said, the collection policy of the district was dubious.
Really?
Let's put it that way. That's a polite way of putting it. Ginny told me how they just showed up at her house to collect and insist on the deposit.
Just walked in the door.
Yeah, so,
It did get straightened out until Fritz went to jail.
yeah.
Well,
They should be Fritz's
regardless,
liability,
yeah,
you know.
regardless, I do think, especially since there are several on there that are current residents, we do need to take on that liability.
But it was made very clear, at least
Yeah.
when we moved here in '83, you don't get it back until you move.
Right,
So
So your
anybody
services
asks
are
for
terminated. Yep.
And that's what the updated policy is still?
It's still that way, yeah. So on your very first water bill, there's a $50 deposit on
I
there.
think you credited there. You put it
And
on the
then,
bill.
well, on your first bill, there's a charge,
Yeah.
a deposit, and then your last bill is credit.
Yep.
And I know
I would never know that. Never knew the one like that.
Yep.
So I don't know if Tobias, we need to make a motion for that, or we just, is that, I mean,
Well, I mean, the city assumed the liability. I think this is more so to draw attention
Okay.
to it. Unless you want to say, yeah, motion, no, we're not
No.
going to add them, and then, well, it's put the
Yeah, I-
responsibility on the customer to produce proof, but
yeah,
I don't think that would be a good policy,
yeah.
especially because customers do remember that they paid that.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No. Oh, yeah, the, Tobias said the USDA applications for the equipment loan and facility loan were delivered this week, and he did confirm the rates stay the same at 2.15%.
We'll drop them off this week. We had to get new quotes from bankers for them to give us a cheap one.
Okay. Utility report, Jenny?
This past summer, running gas service has been slow. Nobody had anything near ready. Now all of a sudden, things have blown up. Got 5 houses loan ready in the winter for the Pony Ridge edition of north on 115. Plus now the ones in Crooks are starting to shake loose. And so it's going to be hectic with people calling and wanting gas and realizing that Mid-American has Q3 during the week. We get them on the weekends, but it's all coming out, but it's not the weather's getting cold. Like I said, I've got 5 that are almost ready over in it's called Cedar Ridge Edition or something, Pony Meadows or something north. So another 115, plus other ones in there. And plus we've got some Crooks coming, but it's going to get very, very busy very quickly. And people will not be happy because it gets cold. And yes, it's not here, but it will come. Just be patient, it will come. We are taking lagoon samples to see if we can discharge at this point. The water levels in the lagoons are not high. And speaking with the lab, they said that this has been slow with them this year because not much rain, a lot of evaporation, so the ponds actually look pretty good. So we'll discharge one more time just to make sure you've got something real and all, and then tighten it up for the winter. So that's all I have for utility.
Okay. Code enforcement.
Well, even more importantly, I've got animal control has gotten quite colorful as of late. 100 Southwest Avenue sent multiple phone calls to the sheriff's department, or people, neighbors have called in for barking dog and care of the dog. The Humane Society, after several calls from the sheriff's department and several trips over there, they decided just to write them a citation, automatic court appearance, which they did, and the defendant pleaded not guilty. So this means that the neighbors that complained, myself, the Humane Society will have to appear in court. That's no problem, I used to go all the time years ago. Now, might add that this particular dog that barks all the time and not cared for has been to the Humane Society 6 times, picked up for running loose, And today was the 6th time in like a year. This dog gets loose, they let it run loose, they don't get it, so it goes in. So I'm going to court, I don't know when. I'm not sure if she's playing the dog today, I'm sure she has, she always has. That's what's going on over there. So that's what I've got to for that.
Okay. Other items under volunteer acknowledgement, I'd like to add names of volunteers that are, and I can give them to you later, I'll read them, but Justin and Derek Zacharias, Adam Brown, Nate Stoltenberg, Travis Zink, John Reiser, Nick Nielsen, Chris and Sarah Roca, Amy Vandermay, Nikki Jones, and I'd like to add Denny Beck because he's been helping me put up flags as a volunteer. So, and the reason we just have this every month is to get their name on in the minutes, and if something should happen, that we're insured. Palmyra pay application number 9 for Palmyra parking lot. So we need a motion to pay for the Palmyra parking lot, application number 9, in the amount of $14,517.71. This was part of the street utility project there. And this is something that Jesse and DGR have okayed and turned into to pay it.
Motion to pay the payment.
Second.
Any other discussion on it?
Jesse, you know what our number is for LDs right now? Is it below the 147?
The one, is that what's left on the contract?
Yep.
Not including retainers?
That includes retainage. All that's left on, it appears to me that that's all that's left on here is just retainage. 5%.
I don't think that's. I was thinking it was more than that, but our liquidated damages are over 180,000. I was thinking there's more held on the contract though. So, taking that.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion to pay for the Palmyra parking lot estimate?
Well, we can't pay it unless we have the correct amount of retainage held.
We didn't change the retainage shell line. You mean as far as,
We have to have the LDs held back in the pay.
It is, isn't it? Isn't that what the 147 is?
No,
Oh.
that's just a standard retainage number.
This is not even proxy.
no,
It doesn't matter, it's just a number.
Second door.
it's still,
They kept up 76409, is that the retainage? Or what do you mean? Because the actual bill was 15,000 less
Yeah,
retainage.
yeah, they took it out.
It's not.
Lane, you get one,
That's-
bill on
that's
that
not the
place
LD.
at 5. Your property tax bill and that elevator, that just one bill, it's 5.
It is, it's all part of the same contract.
That's the
It
other way
doesn't
you gotta
matter.
watch out, they change the address, they raise it up. Not long ago, you got them all.
So you're saying that liquidated damages shouldn't apply to this payment, or this?
No, the liquidated damages aren't applied to a pay application necessarily, they're executed through a change order. But it should be the total amount due minus the proposed liquidated damages should equal what they're due to date. And then if we want to pay anything above and beyond that, between the contract amount and that amount, we can. There is, okay.
Yeah. Contract, a little over that 3.067. We paid them 2.9 something, and then we took retainage off the 2.9 that we paid, so
So it doesn't show up in the amount due to date?
that's just for, that was just, it does.
The work that they've completed to date isn't all included in the amount due to date? They've
Correct.
completed an additional 120,000?
Correct,
Okay.
we haven't paid them for everything, the whole commission will come back,
Okay.
yeah.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, establish a fee for the sign rental, and that's the old sign that was on the post out there. And we've got it back here, and it's on wheels now, and, I guess we need to come up with something. When I go to Ace or Pride, they charge $35 a week for a sign like that, for a week. But, you know, some days, there's gonna be a flea market here and some different stuff coming up. I guess if you're having I don't know what they get when they rent the hall. They get one side of the sign for one day or,
Oh, I stopped doing that.
oh, okay. Anyway, there should be something stated what we charge and that it stays within the city limits, and probably shouldn't deal with religion or politics.
So I got a question, I guess, to you. Is there rules and ordinance or something against, like, or not against, but like where you can put that, right? I mean, is there permits required, or, I mean, I don't want to create a fee and then after that you say, oh, by the way, you also need to pay for this permit. I mean, is there,
There is, so that's,
I didn't know where to, I was trying to find that, I didn't know where.
yeah, it's under signs.
In
But it's
the-
really campaign and political signs is where it really talks about that, but, so that's just it, if you have some verbiage in there, I would definitely stay away from like what you just talked about there, basically the same that you have in the COP bylaws, as far as what is appropriate to put on there. And also if you're gonna advertise a business, there is some guidelines for it, but that's kind of peripheral to what you're talking about, it can't be in the street right away, this and that, so that's all stuff that we can hash out later. but-
Yeah, and the only reason, I mean, we need to figure it out, and we can do it by next meeting, but there is a flea market on the last Saturday of this month.
So I guess what's your intent? Is it they just park it out here like you did for the fireworks?
Yeah.
Or can they go and take it to their house?
Or probably, could be out here, could be on Jim Van Honey's driveway if he lets them do it. Or maybe up at Bob's gas station, but I guess Kelly and Bill Lev are having a mantique show on a Saturday.
Yeah, so that's something that would be out here. Now, if you take it and park it in a residential district, there is some size requirements.
So they could park it out
Yep. As
here
long as
on
it's out of the right of way. Yep.
for now, they could do that, and then we could get something.
Yep. So what we could do, I'd have to go back and rehash through what the verbiage is on that, but we could do a sign permit that allows for otherwise, but. we'd have to
Well, it's
fix
considered a
it.
temporary sign, right?
It is,
I
yeah.
found the temporary.
Yep.
So, it says portable signs is all scratched out, amendment by ordinance 207. So, you know, I'm gonna go to ordinance, this is why we need that. Ordinance. So,
207 really amended it for political.
Political signs, yeah.
And that was, what, 32 square feet residential, 32 for non-residential, 9 square feet in residential, just took up to 60 days before the election.
Yep.
So,
But there is ways, so underneath where you were at before, it does talk about special events, that kind of stuff, so you can do that. I just can't, I think the only time it really addresses size requirements is for political.
yeah, it's only
activity.
political.
okay.
The other stuff was mainly visibility, intersections, and
Yep.
So do you want, I don't disagree. I guess my only comment would be if we do this, I'd like to, and we can put that in the writing as well, just for next time. I'd like to kind of dictate where that revenue goes. I mean, whether, you know, maybe I know we had the promoting crooks, maybe any revenue from that sign. Those were there, I mean, I don't know if you,
I just, Kelly stopped me today, and I said we were gonna discuss it tonight, so other than that, nobody else has asked, so we have to go to the next meeting, except he's asked, what's the rent gonna be for a week before the event?
What's it cost when you rented that other little sign?
$35 a week.
It does seem almost inappropriate